Dear students, today I am going to discuss behavioral and physiological adjustment of homeotherms for cold environment. Then the phenomena hibernation, estivation and daily torpor. So you have studied in the last video how exactly thermoregulation achieved in homeotherms. In spite of the changes in the environmental temperature, the body temperature will be maintained constant 37 degrees centigrade in the case of mammals and 40 to 42 degrees centigrade in the case of birds through this general mechanism. So what happens during the cold? So immediately the cold receptors on the skin, they communicate the hypothalamus of the brain, that is the thermoregulatory center, and through sensory impulses, then from the thermoregulatory mechanism starts, and you can see during cold vasoconstriction, piloereaction, brown fat metabolism, shivering, all these mechanisms, through that you can see the temperature will be maintained constant 37 degrees centigrade in the case of mammals. Similarly, you will find in the case of hot environment, if the temperature go above 42 degrees centigrade outside, immediately the hot receptors on the skin, they communicate to the hypothalamus, and again through the reflex arc you can see you will find vasodilation, sweating, panting, radiation, heat from the ear, through all these mechanisms, heat dissipated out of the body of the animal, and the maintenance of the 37 degrees centigrade in case of mammals. So what are the behavioral and physiological adjustment of homeotherms in cold environment? Thermoregulation during cold condition takes place in following ways. Vasoconstriction. So vasoconstriction means reduces the amount of blood flowing to the surface of the skin is reduced. You can see the constriction of the blood vessels in the skin region, so that amount of blood flowing to the skin is reduced, thereby 1/3 heat loss is prevented from the that is 1/3 heat loss from convection is prevented, that is through the vasoconstriction. Then piloereaction. So you will find in the case of animals with the fur or else feathers, so during cold the furry coat mammals hair lie erect, called piloereaction, or the fluffing of the feathers in the case of birds, then piloereaction you will find in the case of mammals. So because these hair follicles, you will find involuntary contraction of the arrector pili muscles straightening the hair, thereby you will find the temperature is not going to dissipate out. Then the shivering, involuntary contraction of skeletal muscles, heat produced by shivering is 5 times greater than the basal heat production. So this is how the body keep the warm inside through all these mechanisms. So very important one is counter current warming. Counter current warming here, during freezing temperature, the blood of the lower extremities, that is see here the polar bear sitting on the ice or else iceberg. So what happens, you can see it is the temperature here in the extremities, in the legs, it is it's below 20 degrees centigrade. If this the cold blood enters the heart, it is very dangerous or injurious to the heart. Hence there is a mechanism called counter current warming. What happens, you can see, so the blood that leaves aorta or else from the heart, it is about 37 degrees centigrade, and as it is moving to so this is the leg, so this part, so as it is coming down to the extremities, it is becoming cold because outside temperature is very cold. So it will reaches 15 degree when it is coming to the finger region. So what happens, you can see the arteries and the veins, they lie very close to each other like this. When the blood is when returning through the vein, it get warm up because of it takes the heat from the artery. So it is called, you can see that this chilled blood when returning to the heart through veins takes up heat from the warm artery which lies close to that. This counter current warming, so that heart receives warm blood. So this is thereby it's a adaptations what you see. The similar you will find in the penguin also. So the cold chilled blood when it is returning, it is get warmed up. This is called counter current warming. Then during cold conditions, the animals consume excess food which will convert into brown fat. You know that brown fat metabolism yields large amount of heat. So this is called hyperphagy. Then behavioral adaptations, you will find huddling. So many mammals, even the cows and all, you might have seen the horses, they highly evolved as a cooperative behavior strategy for social mammals and birds. So to maximize their fitness in harsh, so you will find how exactly thousands of penguins huddled together. So they are not, they keeping warm so that the heat is not get dissipated out. So this is similarly in the market you will see the same thing you will find. So then during cold, the cessation of sweating, then hibernation. If all these mechanisms they cannot maintain constant temperature, then the small mammals and some birds, they go for a winter sleep for 2 to 3 months, where when the temperature is sub-zero condition. So what exactly the hibernation or winter sleep? So you will find in hibernation mainly in the poikilotherms like frogs and snakes. Highly inactive phase of animals during cold climate, where animals lower their body temperature to the level of outer environment and carry out basal level of metabolism. So in the case of rodents, bats are true hibernating mammals. So what happens, you can see they cannot cope up with the freezing temperature, so that what they do, you know, they find a safe hiding place, and their body temperature also set to the outside temperature, and inactive phase they will be in a 2 to 3 months long sleep, not taking food, and they live in a basal metabolism. So that is what you can see, winter sleep. Many poikilothermic animals go into hibernation during winter. So these animals store sufficient quantities of food as food fat in their body, so that they can survive through these extreme temperature conditions without spending energy on feeding. These animals go into mud or crevices under rocks, you will find here. So spend little energy on respiration to keep them alive and suspend all other activities. So this is what you can see, hibernation. So homeotherms hibernate by lowering body temperature and keeping sufficiently higher than surrounding temperature. So the outside temperature is something like -5, -10. They keep like 2 degrees centigrade. So this is a little higher than outside temperature. They live in basal metabolism, and a long duration of a 2 to 3 months long sleep without feeding or without any activity in a hiding place like this. In a, see how exactly a bear, this is a swift bird, and this is in the case of rodents. So they enter into a seasonal heterothermy or torpid, it is called a seasonal torpor. Seasonal torpor means inactive phase characterized by low body metabolism, temperature, slow breathing and heart rate. Hibernation allows the animals to remain dormant during the winter when the food is less available. Many hibernators maintain body temperature 2 to 4 degree centigrade, such as hummingbirds, insect eating swifts are true hibernating birds. Small mammals, mammals weighing less than 1 kg, so such as insectivore mammals such as hedgehog, small bats, Chiroptera, rodentia, hamster, hedgehogs, ground squirrel, marmot. So all these they save their energy in the winter months. So that is more important for them because they are small animals. So they they hibernate in burrows made out of made around the depth of the 1 meter in the snow, and when the temperature is minus 10 to 50 degree centigrade. So when when the temperature warm up, they revive from this winter sleep. Hibernation is a state body temperature is close to the surrounding. When the temperature is surrounding increase, animal warms up and returns to the homeothermic condition. So it is a temporary heterothermic condition. It is once again they come back to the homeothermic thermoregulation operates and they maintain. So skeletal muscles and brown fats are important in rewarming process. So it is through that you can see the process of shivering and brown fat metabolism. They warm up their body temperature and come back to the homeothermic condition. So hibernating animals will lower its body temperature to the level just below the temperature of its environment. During hibernation, heart beats slow and respiration drops to a few breaths per minute. So hibernating bats may reduce their heart rates from a high 600 beats per minute during flying. So it is reduced to 20 beats per minute while hibernating. So that is the difference in the heart rate and also in the respiration rate. You will find hibernating bat. So animals, it is a true hibernating, always appear like almost they are dead. That's in they are live in the basal metabolism and long sleep. So opposite to the hibernation, estivation. Estivation is called summer sleep, occurs during summer in response to high temperature, dry weather and short supply of water scarcity during summer, and make the some animals they cannot adjust with this condition, arid situation, so that they go for a 2 to 3 months summer inactive phase. It is called estivation or summer sleep. So the animals reduce their activities and remain in their burrows to avoid the heat of the summer. Metabolic rate and activities are reduced in hot climate. So this is very common among poikilotherms because they cannot maintain their temperature, when it is less common among homeotherms. Estivating animals may wake up and become active again if the temperature drops or the rain starts. In the case of frog, you will find rainy season they will come out after summer. During summer you cannot able to see the frogs, they will be estivating or they will be in a burrows. Once you will the first showers in the month of May, you will find they come out and they start their croaking sound you will able to hear during the rainy season. So estivating animals may wake up and become active if the temperature drop and rain begins to fall. Amphibians and desert tortoise, this is desert tortoise, estivate when the weather becomes hot and dry. Estivating animals are reduced activity or sleep. They don't eat. They find shelter in a place in which they are protected. So the lungfish, they make a hole in the mud and they can survive for a year in the drought condition by burying themselves in the mud. So when the favorable season appears or when the pond fill with the water, they come out from this the summer sleep. This is what you can see, the lungfish. So estivation include the bees, salamanders, earthworms, frogs and toads, hedgehogs, snails, snakes, mud turtles and lizards. So in the case of insects, they undergo a temporary halt in the growth. It's called diapause. So is a type of estivation occurring in the hot and dry environment. Diapause is an interruption in the growth of an animal, usually found in the insects. They in the larval stage or else in the pupal stage, they will spend months together. So, they are not undergo metamorphosis, it is an inactive phase. So, you will find in the many insects like mites and some crustaceans and the snails. This is a cotton ball worm in the in the diapause stage. This is a maize leaf and stem borer. So, Chilopartylus. So, this also and diapause is very common, these insects living in desert regions. During summer, when the temperature is particularly hot and dry, these insects hide themselves protective objects such as leaves or burying themselves in the soil. Diapause is a genetically programmed, that means it is controlled by the genes, occurs at the particular time and the stage of development. It can also occur in response to environmental stressors. So, they will in the diapause, and once the favorable situation, they will come out of this diapause. So, then daily torpor. So, what exactly daily torpor is? A daily inactive phase. So, we also do that in the night, we sleep and inactive phase. So, this is what you can see, the daily torpor is a short term inactive state of daily occurrence. When the day metabolism slows down, body temperature drops, and so it is as much, it is like a similar condition like a hibernation. So, hibernation is called seasonal torpor, and this is called the daily inactive phase is called daily torpor. So, animal in daily torpor usually does not see, hear or feel things around it. So, waking up, this is like a short duration sleep period. Waking up from this state torpor takes little time, during which the animal is unsteady state. Torpor is a state of decreased physiological activity. So, daily torpor is the dropping of the body temperature to ambient temperature of the environment, so that nocturnal animals go into torpor during the daytime. So, that bats hibernation is called seasonal torpor. Daily torpor you will find, this is the bats in the daily torpor, inactive phase during the daytime. Okay. Then the hummingbird you will find here. So, this drops in body temperature to 10 to 15 degrees centigrade, and this will bring the enormous saving of metabolic energy. So, this is how the animals save their energy during cold or else very hot situation undergoing daily torpor. So, this you will find in many animals, even including mammals, you will find a daily torpor. So, this is also a condition of a daily torpor. So, many domestic animals also. So, they will be in certain hours of the day, or they will be in an inactive phase and they save energy. So, this is called daily torpor. So, this is about thermoregulation and temperature adjustment, or else behavioral and physiological adjustment to cold environment, hibernation, estivation and daily torpor among animals. Thank you.